Clari-T Media, sitting here on the rooftop. Just enjoyed the sunset. It's super pretty. Let me show you. It's gone now. I'm sorry. You can go to my Facebook page and you can check out the pictures that I took. But this is what it's looking like here in Negril, Jamaica right now. Okay, so this live stream is about some things I've noticed. Some things I've noticed here in Jamaica. Hmm. What have I noticed? Well, let me start with I've noticed how there is a huge divide between people who behave disrespectfully towards others. They are not respected by most people. And sometimes those people that don't respect others are called bad mind people. And I hear a lot of other Jamaicans call those kinds of Jamaican people bad mind people. So, I had to try and understand what a bad mind person is all about, what they do, and all of that stuff. And yeah, I had to learn the hard way by having bad mind behavior done to me. I mean, I wasn't looking for it, but I was kind of setting myself up for it by just trying to understand bad mind people. Bad bad mind people are the kind of people that will, if they could put a like a curse on you, they will. A bad mind person is someone who will talk about you real bad to the community. A bad mind person is also someone who will double cross you. A bad mind person is somebody who will steal from you, of course. So it's that kind of a person that's just no good, not a real good character, bad mind person. So that's what a bad mind person is. And I hear a lot of Jamaican people talk about bad mind people. And it's true. There are bad mind people. Thank you for joining me. Make sure you hit the subscribe button, okay? Make sure you hit the subscribe button because I'm telling the truth right now. I'm saying things that no other American will say about living in Jamaica. Okay, so bad mind people. When you come to Jamaica, you'll hear people talk about bad mind people. They really do exist. Those are the people who they'll put a spell on you. They'll set you up. They'll poison you. They'll poison your food. They'll take a job from you. They'll do all kind of bad mind things, right? So they do exist, but not everybody is a bad mind person. What I have noticed is that there is a caste divide. There's a divide between the color of people's skin. Okay, so dark skins, light skins, Indians, Asians, they all separate themselves. And to be quite honest, they think that the other has some bad mind ways. I'm not going to lie. I've noticed that. And as much as, Jamaican people might claim to not be, separatist, they are. Some of them, not all of them. So the bad minds separate themselves from other bad minds and call themselves better minds, I guess, when they are all doing bad things toward each other. Like anywhere else, not just Jamaica. So that's just some things I've noticed. Let me talk about something else that I've noticed, and this is very particular to American men. I have noticed that white American men here in Jamaica still move like they used to way back in the days. A lot of white American men come here to just be bossy. They want special treatment. They think that we're still living in the days of servitude and superiority. And a lot of them want to live in paradise in Jamaica, but they don't like the people. I've met a lot of white racist people here in Jamaica from the United States that come here and think that they can assert themselves and they can be the same old racist cowards here in Jamaica. Now, granted, for a long time, Jamaicans felt that any white person, any gringo here in Jamaica was somebody with money, with wealth, and a possible way out of Jamaica. So for a long time, white men and women took advantage of that fact. They'd come here and get special treatment, and they get everybody serving them, and they get everybody bowing down, and oh yes ma'am and yes sir, and working for tips, working for money, because that's all that Jamaican people had was the tourist dollars. And so they would perform and do all kinds of things for the money. Well, that is no longer the case anymore. There are still people, still people that come here looking for that kind of experience. And they hate the new Jamaica that's coming. The new Jamaica is about it, an independent, free, black Caribbean country. That's the new Jamaica, you know, taking care of themselves and their families without tourist dollars. You know, these families and individuals are working hard, making their money, doing their work, leaving work, going home, relaxing, building up their homes, building up their families, and they're not trying to be subservient to white America. All right? They don't want to hear none of that, you know? For example, perfect example. Um, Yesterday, I was having lunch at Skylark here in Negril on Beach Road. And I'm sitting and facing the beach. I'm sitting inside, and there are other tables around. And there's one group table about 10 feet from me. Okay, so there's about 10 feet between my seat and the next table with chairs, group of people. One white woman in the group decides she wants to welcome everyone that's getting up to come to have a meal at the table with them. So she's greeting everyone, welcoming everyone to the table. It all seems perfectly normal until she continues to have these conversations with the people in the middle of the floor in this dining room space at the restaurant. They're standing literally on my back. It was the one white woman and a group of white men, and they're all standing around talking. And no one ever sat down at the table with the rest of the guests at the table, which I noticed were only two women of color. So this white woman and all the white men refused to sit down at the table. Basically, they're holding court in the middle of this restaurant in the middle of the afternoon. People are trying to have lunch on their laptops, blah, 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 right? But this group of white woman and white men are loud. They're not really paying attention to time and place and space. They don't really care what's going on around them. They're just doing their own thing. So They continue to talk and they continue to get louder and louder and they continue to push up against my back as I'm eating my lunch. Next thing I know, the woman and some guy are literally standing up against my chair. So I turn around and I can no longer look over my shoulder and see out at the view in the other direction at the bar where the really handsome bartenders are, and I can't watch them send out those great drinks, and I can't look to see if my meal is there, and I can't find my waitress. And these people are standing over me, behind me, all around me, talking loud, and this woman's just going on and on. So I turn around and I kind of give them a look like, "Excuse me," like that, and she says, "Oh, what's the matter? You can't eat?" And I said, "As a matter of fact, I can't. You're right up on me. I need a little room to eat my lunch." She said, "Oh, you need some room? But wait a minute. First, what is that you're eating?" And she sticks her face in my plate and she's like, "What's that you're eating?" That has to stop. White America and white Canada and white people coming to Jamaica and disturbing people of color and with your little microaggressions. Oh, do you need some room to eat? Are we bothering you? Well, I gave you a look like you were bothering me. I didn't make a big deal over it. I didn't say much. I just gave you a look. And then I did say, yes, I need some space if you don't mind. Instead of moving, she steps forward to stick her face over my shoulder and damn near into my plate of food to tell me, to ask me, what am I eating? What's that you're eating? And I'm chewing. I'm in the middle of chewing. So I say to her, ask the waiter. Go sit down and ask your waiter what I'm eating. That shut her down instantly. Shut her down instantly. So here's my other example of white America showing up here in Jamaica and misbehaving, not being considerate of any other people, just wilding out, just wilding out. No manners, no etiquette, no consideration for anybody else around you. You know, like no consideration for your proxemics. You're all in a person's space who's just sitting here minding their business, trying to eat a meal. The other example was the way that I hear some of these white Americans talk about Jamaicans. Jamaicans have their ways of doing things. They have their ways of driving, which is crazy. Yeah, if you're going to drive here in Jamaica, just know you're going to be up against a lot. But it does not give anybody the right to be a racist, disrespectful, demeaning. God. And I was riding with a white friend of mine, white American friend of mine, riding passenger side while he hurls F bombs, assholes, FU bombs, one after another, one after another. Now, I'm not Jamaican, I'm American. So I guess he felt comfortable doing that. But he should not have felt comfortable with me. And I told him, I said, why are you being so evil? You're gonna you're gonna regret it. You cannot live here and be so evil towards Jamaican people. You cannot. I had to check him. So I know personally that there are some white Americans that come here to Jamaica to act up, to be themselves, because that's what they do. They just act up, and they act up. That's not okay. You cannot come to a country and do that. And I'm so happy that the government recognizes that. Yeah, but Jamaica, you guys got to do a better job speaking up for yourselves. Jamaica, you got to do a better job really standing up to people and not being afraid to demand respect and fairness and, you know, some rules of etiquette. There should be rules of etiquette for every foreign tourist that comes here to Jamaica because I see a lot of bad behavior here. Some of the things I see, some of the things I experience, not just on the white American side, now on the Jamaican side, I find that there are some Jamaican men who are extremely rude to women. Extremely rude to women. Period. Across the board. Just rude to women. Those are the bad mind people. Those are the ones that don't have the education, don't have the emotional intelligence, don't have the ability to even reason in their own minds that their behavior is wrong. I know a lot of Jamaicans personally who are like that. They will cut in front of you in line at the bank, at a supermarket. They'll step right in front of you, not look over their shoulder, not think twice to say excuse me or anything. They're just outright rude. And if you tell them that they're being rude or you say, excuse me, I'm in line, they might start an argument with you, call you all kind of bumbleclots and yeah, all kind of idiots. Idiot. Yeah, that's their favorite thing to call a person when they don't have anything good to say. They'll just call you an idiot. That's not cool, Jamaica. It's also not cool, Jamaica, for you to skip over a black person when it comes to service at a restaurant or at a gas station or when it comes to customer service. It's not cool, Jamaica, for you to serve a white person before you serve a black person. Eh, let's keep it real. Keep it real. You know that happens, Jamaica. That's not okay. Just because the white person uh, has a reputation for having money that you want doesn't mean that you have to be so rude and disrespectful and, you know, just like self-hating that you skip over a legitimate customer who looks like me or who has brown skin like you just because you think you're going to get a better tip. That's not okay. These are just some of the things that I've noticed here in Jamaica. Some of the things that kind of are pet peeves, some things that bother me, some things that I really don't appreciate, that I don't like, that I wish would change. Um, some things I've noticed. I've noticed how women seem to compete for men here when they really don't have to because, you know, I think there are enough men to go around for women and men. I'm not sure in terms of, you know, the number of men to women, but in this community, for example, instead of chasing someone's boyfriend, go out and find your own, right? Well, they try, and a lot of women that come here looking for men never really had any success wherever they came from. So when they come from an unsuccessful background, they're going to come and find more disappointment. When they find more disappointment, they get disappointed because they're in a beautiful place with beautiful men, but they can't get one. These are just some things I've noticed. Can't get a man because you're not a good person or you're not attractive. And no matter where you go in the world, you'll never be attractive to men. There are some women who come here to Jamaica who think it's easy to just pick up a Jamaican man and make him yours, even though you have not had success with men any other time. If you do have any success with a man here and you haven't had any success ever, he's desperate. He's desperate. He'll say he's in love, but he's desperate and he wants to get out of Jamaica. But what I'm really trying to talk about is those women. Those women who haven't had success, they come here, they don't have success, so they get mad at other women who are having success. And they talk about those women and they smear and do the hate, and they separate themselves and they don't include the women, and they just are not friendly. Just are not friendly to beautiful women having beautiful relationships here in Jamaica with beautiful men. It's a competition. It's a straight up competition. And it's ridiculous. It is ridiculous because I think there are enough men and women for everybody here. And we don't have to compete at all. And you don't have to look at your girlfriend's boyfriend. Go find yourself one. But make sure that you're a good person on the inside. Make sure that you're a good person on the inside first. Then maybe you'll have some success. Just some things I've noticed here in Jamaica. I also have noticed that a lot of these young Jamaican men really truly believe that they can find success with foreign women who are just looking to come and have a good time with some guys. And some of these guys get really hurt emotionally by women who have no intentions of, you know, being a wife or a girlfriend, and they're just looking for a good time. These guys actually get mad at those women, sometimes hurt them. Yep, so ladies, just beware. If you're coming over here to have a good time and to meet some beautiful Rasta men, Jamaican men, beware. These men have hearts. These men want to get off of this island. They want to have a future in the United States where they can earn a living, a better living. And if you lead them on to believe that they have a chance with you, you might get hurt in the process. So just a word of caution to the ladies coming to have a good time here in Jamaica. I've noticed the men are very sensitive. They protect themselves, they protect their hearts, just like anybody else. And if a woman comes here to just have sex and run around with these men and don't have any intentions of ever having a future with them, you better be careful, girls, because you could get yourself in a lot of trouble. Get yourself in a lot of trouble. These guys are aware of women like that. Some of them are passing sexually transmitted diseases to women, and they don't care because they know that those women are coming here to just exploit them. Yeah, these men, some of them, some of them do not care. And then there are others who do care, who want a future, who are sensitive to, they're sensitive to being rejected, um, or as a whole society here in Jamaica, women have a place. Women are supposed to behave a certain way, and these are really strong beliefs, conservative beliefs about the place for women in this society. And so when you got wild women coming from other countries and other places, just wilding out, having sex, trying to have sex, going topless or nude on the beach, and trying to have sex on the beach, and doing all kinds of shenanigans, picking men up one after the other, day after day here in Jamaica. There's a real high risk on both sides of somebody getting hurt. It's a very dark world. The world of sex for money here in Jamaica exists, and it's a very dark world. People get hurt, people get killed. So I recommend that if you're traveling here, you be very careful, and you don't, if you have that in mind and you're trying to be very slick about it, ladies, and you're trying to act like you're not here for sex when you are here for sex, believe me, these men know what you're up to. These men know what you're up to, and they don't mind the ones that don't care about hurting a woman. They don't mind hurting a woman to put her in her place, give her something she'll never forget. We've heard stories about tourists coming here and getting hurt. It can happen. Here is Negril, Jamaica in particular. Negril, Jamaica. Yeah, so I'm talking about Negril, Jamaica. I don't know about any place else, but I know that the male prostitutes and the men who will have sex for money here in Jamaica, they are also very angry at women who think that they can come and just buy them and just, use them. Oh, yeah. Beware, ladies, beware. So it's Alicia Mayo. I'm up here on the rooftop. I just enjoyed sunset and the conversation with you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for subscribing to my channel. This is what the sky looks like right now. Yeah, Snow Bear. Oh, yeah, your coworker got mugged by a guy there she tried to party with. Yep, because these guys don't give a shit. They don't give a rat's ass about these women who come here looking for sex. It is a fact. These women come here and they think they are the bosses because, like, same way with white men who come here, or these European foreigners that come here to buy sex, and want to treat the people any old kind of way. They really don't care about them, but they want to have sex with them. They want to use them. Well, these guys are very angry at women like that. Because, number one, the social norm here in Jamaica, if it doesn't make much room for women who go around having sex with men haphazardly and casually. They don't like that. They don't appreciate it. They think it's disrespectful, and it is. And they don't want to see it. They don't want to support any businesses or any kind of interactions with people who do things like that. You know, although it exists, prostitution exists everywhere. It exists here. It exists in Kingston. It exists in Mobay. It exists in St. Elizabeth's Parish. It exists all over this island. But based on what I've seen here in Negril, There are a lot of men here who are angry at these women who come to spend money on them to have sex. And they don't mind slapping a woman around and hurting a woman. Yeah. He lured her away from the resort and boom, robbed her. Yeah, that's exactly, took everything she had. Wow. That's exactly how it goes down. Yeah, that's exactly how it goes down. Tourism is big everywhere now. Sex tourism is big everywhere. Yep, yep. Sex tourism is big everywhere. I get hit on all the time. I'm 61 years old. I have a head full of gray hair. And yeah, I look young for my age, but with this gray hair on my head, and I have a old lady's routine. I go walking every day. I go have my lunch around the same time every day, which is kind of dangerous in terms of, having someone stalk me or like that. But I know enough people around here, and I know the police well enough that I've really made deep and wide relationships and friendships and connections with business people, police, clergy, doctors, school teachers, parents, um, you know, even construction workers who are working in the area. They all look out for me. And it's really important to build your community, to build a safety net around yourself when you're coming to live in a place like this, like I did. I packed up and came here all alone, not knowing what to expect. Took a real big chance myself, and my safety. Took a big chance, and every day I do take a chance. But I keep myself safe. I'm honest, I'm respectful. Um, I have a great network of friends and extended family and a community that I stay within for the most part. And I don't go too far outside of my zone, because I'm not prepared. So anybody being lured away from a resort to go and party with somebody like that, not a good idea. Stay right there at your resort. Not a good idea at all. Unless it's a group of you and you're in a group and maybe you go on a party with one or two people in that group, don't let the guy lure you away. I watched that very thing happen at one of the resorts I was at for my walk. I walk every week about 2 or 3 times a week. And so I was having lunch at one of the resorts, and the taxi driver, young, handsome guy, he's driving them around, but he's trying to lure one away. He keeps trying to lure her away from her group. And I tell her group, her sisters and her friends, I let them know what he was doing. I said, this is what he's doing. Now, he might be your driver. Let him be your driver, but do not let him isolate her and separate her from the group. He saw me talking to her, and in the middle of me talking with her, he comes up and he tells me that he wants to talk to her. So he pulls her by her arm in front of her friends. Her friends are literally in shock. They're all quiet. They don't know what to say to him or to her. I say to him, let go of her arm. You can use your words. If you want her to come with you, you use your words. Don't put your hands on her. I told her and I told her friends and family that was the first sign. That was one of the first signs of a power control dynamic and his attempt to lure her and to isolate her and to trap her and to get her in a position where he can be in control. It happens often. So, um, I will say that it exists, sex tourism exists here, but Jamaica's constabulary force or their police force, they are all over it. They are all over it. I was at the beach yesterday. Like I said, I go 2 or 3 times a week, sometimes more. I might go tonight to listen to live music down there on Beach Road, all the way down there. But what's that in the air? What is that we're seeing? Is that something flying away? Oh gosh, that was cool. Oh, that's a reflection. It's got to be a reflection. Anyway, sorry. I thought it was a UFO right there that's moving. I don't know if you can see that. Anyway, so yeah, the sex tourism is heavy, but the police are all over it, and they get rid of the guys just as soon as the guys come to town because they don't live here in the grill. As soon as they come to town, the police are on the beach. They're walking, they're riding their bikes, and they get rid of the guys. Even up here on West End Road, where we have a bunch of great bars and restaurants, once the guys come up here and they're mostly on foot, the police are up and down the roads. They kick them out. They walk them out of Negril. So I really love how the police force is all over, all over sex trafficking and making sure that our communities are safe here. I love it. I love it. They're hardcore when it comes to the police. And yeah, don't get out of pocket because they will shoot you. They'll shoot you down. They will shoot you down. They'll shoot you down straight up. Did little dogs hear me or is that somebody walking by? Uh, Other dogs. They're barking at. Oh, little puppies down there. You guys can't see them, but I'm looking. It's three little puppies. And then the two inside of the fence, they're barking at them. Oh, hush up, little guys. These puppies are harmless. As a matter of fact, we have some of the cutest stray dogs. Yeah, some of the cutest wild dogs. Are you guys fighting each other? Stop that. You stop that fighting. That was a little boy trying to get to a girl dog. Anyway, thank you guys for being live with me here. It's been 38 minutes exactly, and I wanted to give you at least 30 minutes of time. I'm going to be going live every day now for, I don't know, for as long as I can do it, okay? And I'm going to be talking more about Jamaica, little bits and pieces. I do talk, really important things about Jamaica, like buying land and, building here, becoming a resident, legally going through the immigration process, learning how to, meet and have relationships that work, how to understand and communicate with Jamaicans. You got to be upfront, very frank but polite, be respectful and considerate and willing to talk things out, be willing to reason, as they say here in Jamaica. Don't be so quick to go 100 or go all out, get violent. Don't do that when you're here. If you run into any problems while you're here socially, you want to be reasonable and you want to use reason and, have a conversation with someone rather than going all out. If it's not turning into violence, then don't you turn it into a violent situation. There's a boat sailing by out there with the lights on. Yeah, that's a boat sailing by. That's as much traffic as we get here um, in Negril, Jamaica. So thanks again for joining me. I'm Alicia Mayo. the CEO and founder of Clari-T Media. Thank you so much for joining me for this live stream. Make sure you hit the subscribe button, please. Please subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. All right. God bless you all. There's the boat passing Bogona Cliff Hotel here in Negril, Jamaica. Take care until next time. All right. Peace out.